On this episode of Arts Weekly, I'm speaking with Craig Humphrey and Victoria Zischke from the IPFW Department of Theater.
And he recommended that he do West Side Story in order to get some experience in working with Leonard Bernstein. He felt that would be really good for him. So pretty good advice. And he wrote this. This is the first one he kind of wrote on his own lyrics and music. And it's wonderful. The lyrics are so full of his wordage that becomes his sort of signature characteristic later on.
And Philip Colglazer from the Fort Wayne Civic Theater.
So it talks about his life and how his name to fame was almost attributed to that entirely to the invention, but it's also a tragic story about his life too in that regards, and his personal struggles with alcohol and how he didn't get credit. And so it's very entertaining, a very intellectual piece, as Aaron Sorkin's writing is.
This is Arts Weekly.
Arts Weekly is a production of the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design. IPFW, the energy of arts.
Hello, I'm Chuck O'Connor. Joining me is Craig Humphrey, Director, and Victoria Zischke, Assistant Professor of Theater from the IPFW Department of Theater, and they're here to discuss a funny thing happened on the way to the forum, currently in production at IPFW. Craig and Tori, good to see you both.
Hi, nice to see you,
Chuck.
too.
Thank you for having us.
A funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Craig, what's this play about?
Well, it is a very broadly written, broadly drawn farce about a Roman slave who will do just about anything to secure his freedom. But most of it is centered on his trying to acquire the girl of his master's dreams so that if he marries Hero off to Philia, he'll get his freedom.
So it's sort of a classic Roman comedy that's really made contemporary.
Exactly. It's actually based on a play by Plautus, the ancient Roman playwright, that has been adapted in a very traditional vaudeville style, really, a combination of vaudeville and burlesque.
Now, you use the words farce and vaudeville. What do you mean by those terms?
Well, it's what I remember of television in the 60s and 70s, the Carol Burnett Show, their wonderful broad sketches that they would do, their send-ups of things. It's very much in that style, very broadly written and wonderfully funny.
Yes, wonderfully funny. It really will sometimes put you on the floor. It's a lot of slapstick and things like that.
A lot of physical humor,
Yeah.
huge chase scene in the second act, very Keystone Cops feeling.
Right, just want to remind our audience that actually opened a few nights ago at the Williams Theater here at IPFW campus, but it plays through October 9th.
Exactly, yes.
Why did you choose this play, Craig?
Well, I've had a great fondness for the show for years. This was the first full-length show that I ever directed 15, 17 years ago. And it's been on the back burner in my mind since then. And this year it seemed appropriate for the group of students that we have. And we were looking for something big and bright and fun to open the season. And actually, Tori's the one that reminded us of the title, and when she mentioned it, we all went, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I hear it's really selling quite well, so got to get our tickets fast. Tori, this musical is written by Stephen Sondheim. For those in the audience that don't know a whole lot about Stephen Sondheim, who is Stephen Sondheim, and what is his importance to American musical theater?
Well, West Side Story was his first foray, wasn't it, as the lyricist?
Lyricist, West Side, yes.
For West Side Story.
Been around a while.
Yes, and I believe it's Oscar Hammerstein that was his father.
Adopted father.
Adopted father, basically. And he recommended that he do West Side Story in order to get some experience in working with Leonard Bernstein. He felt that would be really good for him. So pretty good advice. And he wrote this. This is the first one he kind of wrote on his own lyrics and music. And it's wonderful. The lyrics are so full of his wordage that becomes his sort of signature characteristic later on.
Yes, he's very witty.
Yes, and he just uses language really, really well. He does turns of phrases that somehow he evokes so much with with very little. He has a reputation for having very verbose lyrics and things like that, and complicated music. And this is complicated in a lot of ways, but it's also simple to hear. It washes over you. It's enjoyable.
And he has indeed gone on to write some of the best-known musicals of our era, from Company and
Follies, Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd is a big one. Show opened in 1962 with one of my favorite actors, Zero Mostel.
In many ways,
for many people who've seen the movie, perhaps.
Which I wouldn't recommend.
Okay, no, not the movie. See the play.
Yes. But this show, in many ways, really established Zero Mostel as a star. He had been around, he'd gotten some notoriety, but it was playing Pseudolus in the original Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum that he really was established as a star.
And he really came out of the vaudeville era.
Oh, very much.
For people that don't know that, and really brings that style to the forefront in the play. And of course, Tori, this is not the first time you've done this play.
No, it is now my fourth.
Your fourth time. I think we have a picture up on the screen there.
This is a...
Are you in the middle, on the left? Where are you there?
I am the one, I guess it's on the right, with the blonde hair. Yeah. I played Philia at Utah Shakespeare, Shakespeare Festival back in 1995, I believe. I was also playing Desdemona in Rotating Rep. And actually, we changed one of the opening lyrics to She Plays Desdemona later this week, which was quite funny. But yes, and in that...
Where are you here?
This is also Utah Shakespeare Festival. I'm with the man who played Pseudolus and the boy who played Hero. It was a wonderful production.
I think I know that Pseudolus.
Yeah.
We both worked
Fred
in the
Adams,
same classes. Yes. Same place.
So he got a big laugh when he took his toupee off at the beginning and put it on a statue.
It really is funny.
Yes. And then I did a tour of it through the old Straw Hat Circuit, the old Summer Stock Circuit, and the East Coast a few years later.
Yeah.
But I started out playing a Gemini in college at Southern Methodist University, and so here I am.
Here you are.
A few years later.
You're a professional actress. You've acted in New York, all over. You're teaching in the theater department here. And what do you teach?
I teach acting. Right now, I teach the first level acting class, and I'm also teaching an acting on camera class, which I have had in here all last week. Yes, and I also teach a theater appreciation class, which is a general education class.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What are you playing in this production?
I am playing Domina.
Who are you playing?
I'm playing Domina. She is Hero's mother, and you will not recognize me in the performance.
Really?
Oh, no.
I hear you have actually a special costume.
I do have
As they say, that really, puts forth your best assets.
My best assets, yes.
Okay.
As we like to say, I enter before I actually do, and I'm still on stage once I exit. Yes, so I've got a little extra forward and a little extra backwards, yes. But then I have this remarkably wonderful wig, and we've come up, I think, with some delightful makeup accents as well.
Yes.
And I'm having a very good time. I don't normally get to play characters like this, so it's a lot of fun. The girls in the dressing room, they can't believe that I'm kind of willing to make myself look like that, but I'm having a blast. So,
I don't know if people really appreciate, Craig, how much training it takes to act on stage, especially in musical theater. What are some of the things you have to know how to do to get out there?
Excuse me. Musical theater actors have to train in acting, in singing, and in dance. And it really requires a concentration in all three areas, and also understanding the history of the form and how musical theater really manifests itself in a huge variety of styles. And suiting this appropriate style to the production is as much, this show, for example, is hugely broad and very
amazingly
different.
Physical.
Very physical, which would be very different from a typical Rodgers and Hammerstein musical.
Who are some of the people you have in this production?
We have both some recognizable, regular faces from our department and around town, as well as we have a lot of new, we have 6 of our new first-year students this year in our cast. Ruben Albaugh is playing Pseudolus, Kirby Voltz, who people will know from around town, Gary Lanier from your office is
I know Gary well.
is in the show, and a number of our students, both returning and, as I said, 6 new ones. So.
Now, Tori, the theater department actually teaches musical theater. It started a new program in musical theater. Is that true?
Yeah, we announced it to the students only a few weeks ago, I guess, and we're sort of starting that next semester. Craig and I are both involved in teaching the performance aspect of that. So they will be having several classes specifically towards musical theater performance, and then they will be having music theory, they will be having musical theater history, dance classes, as well as the standard core classes for the theater curriculum.
A lot of training,
Yeah.
a lot of hard work, I'm sure, to be in that program.
Yeah.
It will be an emphasis area on top of the standard theater core courses.
That's wonderful. And I, by the way, I saw the set. The set is, I think, really, really gorgeous.
I have been blessed with 3 wonderful designers. My set, my costumes, and my lighting are all really exciting.
Craig, is this appropriate for children, or is there an age range that
It's
you
a
would recommend?
little bawdy. It's a little risque, but it certainly is tamer than a lot of what we see on television. I would say under 12, 13, it might not be appropriate, but I would say teenagers up, it would be fine.
Yeah. How would you compare directing this production with the ones that you've done in the past?
Well, having last year having done the Hot L Baltimore, which was much racier, shall we say, this has been a pleasure, a walk in the park, really.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the show, it opened. It opened last on Friday, but audiences can still come and see it next weekend. It closes on the 9th, and tickets are selling. It's quite a popular show.
Yes.
So-
We're looking for to continue to have really good houses. So.
Indeed. Well, I hope that you do, and I'm going to see it soon myself.
Good.
Thank you both for coming on this show, and wish you the best with Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum runs through October 9th at the Williams Theater on the campus of IPFW. For more information about how you can get tickets, visit ipfw.edu/theater or go to the Schlatzline box office at 481-6555. Arts Weekly will return in a moment.